This project is long overdue. I really wanted to make a tier list with every single League of Legends champion. Now, this list is gonna be for beginners, it's gonna be for Hardstuck in lower elos, because I feel like many people don't really understand why certain champions are good or why certain champions are bad, and what picks are gonna make your life a lot easier with how much time you actually need to invest in the champs to be actually good at the game, like at least understand certain basic and mechanics of the game, right? So, of course, if you like really enjoy a champion, right? I'm not gonna give names because every single champion is gonna be ranked somewhere in my top, right? But if you like really enjoy a champion, you should keep playing it, right? If you started the game now and you like randomly pick, I don't know, let's say you picked, right, Cassante. You picked Cassante. Maybe you don't even know who the champion is, but like, let's say, right, you are that unique guy who started the game, you insta pick Cassante and you enjoyed. Is the champion easy to play? No. We shall see when we get to it. But at the same time, if you like really enjoy the champion, keep playing it. Now, I do want to make this top to help you guys out, and I'm gonna make it like in probably 3 or 4 parts, simply because there are 117 champions. 117 champions. So we shall start. Aatrox. Now, where does Aatrox go? I will say Aatrox is like a over 100 hours champion, right? He's like a very high skill, very easy to miss champion, right? He's like a top laner, sure. We're gonna talk about roles too. He is not flexible, first of all. Maybe you can try to play him mid, but mostly Aatrox is a top laner who suffers a lot early game because his cooldowns are very like high. He needs to land the skills. He needs to play in like perfect boxes. You know, he has like a combo that you need to hit constantly to actually be efficient. So even like when I'm saying 100 plus hours, right? It can go up to like 500 hours. Like for this champion, I feel like you need to invest a lot of time into Aatrox to actually play the game, right? His Q, it's your bread and butter mostly. You know, you need to hit your Q constantly. It's a knockup, but you need to hit it at a certain point. You shall see if you are trying the champion, right? You need to hit it right in the perfect point. If the enemy champions just like dashes or moves out of it, if you just like miss it without like even enemy champion doing anything, like the margin for error is way too big on Aatrox. I will not recommend it for mostly anybody who is actually starting the game. And even if you are like silver and you have like a lot of hours into the game and you didn't play Aatrox, I will still not recommend Aatrox to be randomly picked in any draft. Ahri. Now I will put Ahri in like a B tier. Now I feel like Ahri needs like 50 hours. I would say like 50 hours because you can miss a lot of stuff with Ahri. Her bread and butter, it's her charm, right? You have skill shots. You don't really have point and clicks on Ahri. Only your W is like a little bit easy to hit, but at the same time, it's like your least important skill in a way, right? You need to hit the charm, you need to hit the Q, right? Like you have a lot, but at least you are range, at least you have mobility. She's a mid laner. Again, she's not a flex pick. She can be very fun to play, and I know a lot of people like to play her, right? So if you put like a good 50 hours into her, I feel like Ahri will start rewarding you. But at the same time, I feel like it's very hard to carry with Ahri. That's why in lower elos or for a beginner, I will not put her higher. 50 hours, it can be playable. You might win a lot of games, but are you gonna win? It's like a 50% win rate champion. Like she's not gonna offer you free games. And when you are starting to play around people who actually know how to like decently move and play around you, it's gonna be very hard. I feel like she is a champion who needs her team to actually try alongside her to carry a game. Akali. Akali, it's same as Aatrox, right? You need like over 100 hours to play her. First of all, she's melee. Now, melee champions have this problem because you need to position yourself. And not only that, but she's a squishy melee as well. who is a very all-in champion. Like you really need to go all in all the time to actually be useful. You need to know target selection, you need to know how to position yourself. She has energy, right? Every single champion. And it's very funny we started with these three because Ahri, for example, if you're a beginner and you don't know, it's a mana based champion, so that's a resource. Akali, it's an energy based champion, so that's another resource. Aatrox has like a weird rage, you know, it's like he's very different from most of the champions. But like for example, Ahri and Akali have two type of resource that they need to manage. Now while it might seem better on energy because energy regenerates when you are using skills, if you don't know how to manage your energy, you will all in somebody and all of a sudden you will realize you don't have energy to execute nothing because you just like poor managed it, right? So Akali needs to play around like a smoke screen, right? She has a skill where when you are in that smoke screen, your energy regeneration it's a lot better. But you need to play around that. You need to actually hit your E. You need to know how to land your R. It's like very easy to get stun lock and just like die. And I will not recommend Akali without 100 hours. She might be a very, very fun champion. I will say that. But at the same time, starting with her might hurt you a lot. Akshan, for sure, he's like, just don't pick it. Never. In like lower elos. Thank you. Now, Akshan, it's what we will call a AD carry. But he's not a AD carry who's played bot. It's a AD carry that's played top. Or mid. Now, Akshan, although his main, like, he won't seem complicated, right? He won't seem like extremely complicated. Has like a skill that even pro players who are doing this and getting paid millions of dollars to do it, F up it. Just like, they fuck it up. They fuck it up consistently. So I don't want to see any beginner or like lower elo picking this champion just to go and die into the enemy team because they don't know how to do the hook shot, right? So Akshan has a skill that lets you attach to a wall and just move like in a circle, right? But it needs to be like a very good angle and it's so easy to miss and you can just like throw yourself into the enemy team. It's like a very weird skill to use. It's like very weird to interact with, right? And even after that, you are still picking like a AD carry top lane versus like, I will talk later about champions who are simply just like better in early, right? Akshan, at best, it's a niche pick for like very good players who are actually mastering him. It's like a niche pick that can work sometimes. But for beginners, you should never pick Akshan. You should be like, just like, please don't, okay? His skills may look pretty easy, like, right, he throws a boomerang, he deals a little bit of damage. When he stays in one place, he attacks twice, right? He can move, he has range, he's cool now. But for a range champion, his ultimate can be very easily stopped. So there are like too many factors of risk with Akshan. Sure, can be fun. Again, fun factor, I will say Akshan maybe a 6 or 7 out of 10. But at the same time, you are inting if you are picking Akshan in lower elos without experience, even more if you are a beginner. Alistar, we're gonna talk about our cow because our cow is gonna be the first S tier champion. I will not put him in S plus tier because he still has like a little bit of like potential to fail, but hey, you started to play League of Legends and you want to go support. I think like Alistar is like one of the best champions to actually learn. Now Alistar was a little bit worse in like a few years ago, but now Riot Games made sure you cannot like really miss the combo once you start learning. Now for those who don't know, Alistar has like a very easy combo where you press WQ. You need to press WQ. You need to press WQ. You just like go in the practice tool and you press WQ like a few times and you will engage, right? You just throw yourself into the enemy champion and then you knock him up. And knockups are very efficient because you cannot escape knockups with tenacity or with cleanse or with anything basically. You actually need to dodge it, which is very hard to dodge when you are playing Alistar. Your E, it's very simple. If you stay next to a target, you will have a stun. You have sustain in the lane from the passive every single time minions die around Alistar. You get a stack. When you have like 6 or 7 stacks, I think I'm wrong on the number, you will heal yourself and your ally. And your ultimate, it's one of the greatest tool in the game to actually tank towers. Like if like 99% of the champions in the game at level 6 can tank like, I don't know, 4 or 5 tower shots before they die, Alistar can tank up to 10 for sure just by pressing R. Now R makes you extremely tanky, and at the same time remove CC. So if you are stunned, if you like feel like you need to escape, you just press R, right? You become insanely tanky. You remove any type of CC, so no more, no longer stuns, nair, like anything, right? It's just like a insta cleanse that makes you tanky. Again, your combo is pretty easy. You're gonna engage a lot, so engaging, it's important, because in lower elos and when you are starting to play the game, you need to learn. Now, he still can be misplayed. That's what I'm saying. He needs like a little bit of practice, but I don't think he's like in the 50 hours range of practice. If you just like practice Alistar 10 minutes right before you are entering a game, just go into practice tool, put a little dummy there, and just like WQ, WQ, WQ. I feel like you're gonna get the hang of the combo very fast, and once you get the hang of the combo very fast, you kind of master Alistar. Now positioning and when to engage and when not engage, it's applicable for every single champion. That comes with experience. You will learn how to engage and when to not engage, but at the same time, the easiness and the usefulness of the champion will make him a S tier. That's why Alistar, for me, it's a S tier champion. Okay, Ambessa. Now Ambessa goes into like the 100 plus hours of champion. She has the same problem as Akali. Now, while being very, very fun because she's an energy based champion as well, she has like a huge problem with energy, because she needs to land autos every single time she uses the skill. While being very easy to stick to enemy champion and also click at the same time, it's like not a skill that is actually like a new player should learn, because that actually it's spacing that actually needs to just like have this mentality to just like think you need to press Q and you need to dash in a certain direction, then you actually need to hit a basic on the enemy champion to regenerate energy, then your W is a shield, and you again dash in a certain direction, your ultimate can be very easily missed. And while she dashes a lot because of her passive and her skills look very cool, she needs a lot of hours to actually just like put yourself into it. And I will say like she's even harder than Akali, because with Akali at least you can fumble it and still kill like some squishy AD carry. With Ambessa, if you fumble it, you're just gonna look like a zero energy minion on the for the enemies, will just like kill you, because her build also is kind of squishy and she can be very hard punished in the top lane if her energy management is bad. So I think it's just like not a champion for beginners or low elos. Now we have Amumu. Of course, Amumu should be perma banned, because he's like our first S tier champion for beginners and learners. Like there is like no better jungler you can actually learn, right? Ambessa was a top laner. Again, she can be flex on mid, but like, yeah, okay. Amumu, it's the jungle for the like for every single. I don't care, bro. You want to win games, you want to climb elos, you want to learn the game, just like pick Amumu. He's like a very simple champion. First of all, he has like one skill shot, and Riot made sure it's like very hard to miss it, because they gave him 2 skill shots. That so you're basically your Q. It's you throw some bandages in a straight line. You hit the enemy champions. If you hit the enemy champions, it's an insta stun. Your W and your E are just like point and click, right? Your W, you can press it once, you have it on non-stop, and it's good versus tanks. And your E, you need to kind of press it from time to time. Every single time somebody basic attacks you, your E resets, your cooldown decreases, right? So yeah, basically Amumu has like this Q that is very free to hit. You have even 2 chances that Riot gave you to do, right? So you can throw your Q twice. Once you hit the Q, you basically EW and your R. It's a big circle of AoE stun. Very easy to engage on. So basically, once you learn how to throw the Q, again, maybe learn a little bit about the when you should engage, when you should not engage, but you can clear your jungle very fast and very easy. It's like very hard to fail on Amumu how to clear your jungle. You will have good timings on clearing jungler. on clearing jungle even as a beginner, right? Your ganks are gonna look nice, right? Jungle is not the easiest role to understand and play, but at the same time, Amumu might make your life easier. Okay, let's go Anivia. Anivia is like in the maybe match champions. I will say match champions. Now Anivia has like a huge problem. First of all, mana early game horrible. One of the lowest and slowest attacks of any champion, so it's like very hard to farm with her before 6. After 6, sure, you can like spam your ultimate to farm because she doesn't really like have a cooldown on the ultimate. She's a mid laner, so she faces a lot of champions that outrange her. Your ultimate can be cancelled by any type of CC. So if enemy champion is like CCing you, you are losing your ultimate. Your Q basically it's a stun. It's a ball that goes towards the enemy. You actually need to reactivate it if you want to stun in like a specific place. If not, you kind of just like throw it for the max range. Your W, it's something that is very dangerous even for your team because you basically build the ice wall that can actually impact your team negatively. And as a beginner or like a lower elo who doesn't like really how know or maybe have internet problems and stuff like that, again Anivia can be like detrimental to your own team, and detrimental champs that have skills that can actually affect your team in like a very negative way I will put very low. Even though she's not Akshan, right, she can be played. I'm not saying she should not be played, but at the same time she has like a very huge margin for error, right? You need to learn your E does a lot of damage if you are actually hitting somebody who was stunned by your Q, or if somebody stays in your ultimate for a long time, right? Because your ultimate will start like a small zone and then it will go bigger and bigger until it reaches like the max zone, right? The max range. And when it's max range and somebody enters your ultimate, you will actually deal like a critical damage on your E, right? E, it's pretty easy, right? It's a point and click. That's why it's like she's good. Her passive is like okay. She just like she doesn't like instantly die. She transforms into an egg from time to time, right? You have a cooldown on it that allows you to respawn. But at the same time, like I don't think like she's a champion that is fun to play. Her basics are very slow. She has like a lot of problems with positioning. She can int her own team, so that's why I'm saying she's like just a meh champion. She's just like an old design champion that really needs some love from Riot because I rarely see her being played. And if you are starting in 2025 to play the game, Anivia is simply not the champion you should play to have a nice time or just like yeah, be a good champion. Any now for sure, a lot of people will say, "Ma, Annie is like S plus tier for a beginner." I would say she's like a decent B tier champion for a beginner. Now I don't know where the misconception of Annie being an easy champion to be played came from. I don't really care. I don't think like she's easy. I see it even in like Emerald Plus to Diamond games. The Annie problem still remains the same. First of all, it's just like I don't know, it's like somebody who just like when you pick any, your brain gets wired to never use any skill because you have stun and you need to flash ult because that's the only way you can play the game. So yeah, any in theory it's a very easy champion, right? When you Q something and you kill it, right, like a minion for example, you gain your mana back and your Q has a reduced cooldown, which seems very nice to farm on, right? She has like a very nice farming point. After that, right, it's like your W is just like a cone of damage that deals damage. You have like nice range. Your E, it's a shield that lets you move faster. Also, you kind of deal damage if the enemy attacks you or attacks T-Burst. Your ultimate, it's a big bear. Now, the bread and butter of Annie, it's that whenever she uses 3 skills, her 4th one allows her to stun somebody, right? So you mostly want to have like your R, right, your T-Burst that has like a little bit of AoE damage, so you can actually stun everybody. You have that little circle going around you, right? If you have that on and you press R on somebody, your burst is insane with decent items, right? You can like one shot and one tap 2 or 3 people maybe at the same time if they are in the wrong position. But she's squishy, and even though people in lower elos will not play the game very well, everybody knows, and any has stun up and will run away, or they will flash away, or just like random stuff like that. So I see like a lot of fails with any. Everybody who plays any doesn't know how to camp a bush, how to actually take advantage of the fact that you are a very bursty champion. No, everybody just like thinks I need to have flash up. I swear to God, if I have to see in diamond or master tier elo somebody pinging me that they don't have flash up on any, I just like I don't care. This champion is not that good for beginners. There are simple champions to play it, even in the mid lane. Now I will say she's still like a very good champion to start with. Is she like S plus tier? No, she will not like solo carry games. She's like a decently 52% win rate champion. Like that's what I'm going to say about her. Even in Iron, I don't think like she's like a very good champion. I don't think like she's deserving of it, right? She's like a good supportive champion, but she's like not the best champion in the game to carry. I swear to God, she's simply not that good. Aphelios, I'm gonna pass because any kind of tells me in a very weird manner. I don't think like she's a good champion. Aphelios, it's like just don't ever pick it. There are like 10 persons in the world who should actually pick Aphelios. Maybe that's an exaggerated number, but like at the same time, I say like there's like 100 people on the planet who should actually pick Aphelios. This champion. First of all, let's talk about as a beginner or like a very low tier player. This champion has a different UI. So basically, if you like started playing League of Legends and you play League of Legends for like I don't know 2 months, right? And you only played Aphelios because you like how he looks, and then you go on another champion. No fucking champion will look like Aphelios because he's just like a different UI. He has like a different mechanic for everything. I'm not even gonna I will not be here explaining Aphelios. I don't have a doctorate in like quantic mechanics to actually explain Aphelios. And even my friends who are playing Aphelios for over like 5 years now since this champion appeared, or how many years it is since this champion appeared, they are still like discussing like the weapon choice and how to actually fire the bullets after 5 years. No. Just don't pick Aphelios. Ashe. I swear to God, if somebody tells me Ashe is good, I will just like report. Ashe is like a meh champion. At best. Now I have a huge problem with Ashe. And I'm not talking only about like beginners. I'm not talking only about like low elo, right? I'm even thinking about like emerald. I'm even thinking about like diamond. People don't know how to carry on Ashe ever. If I need to see one more Ashe exiting the lane 7-0 and then being completely useless, I'm okay, right? I'm okay. She is a pro player champ. I feel like maybe in Challenger, if she's like really fed, she can be an S tier champion. In like every elo below diamond, she's like a very champion because first of all, you have slows on your basic attacks, which are very good. She's an AD carry, right? You need to kite, you need to create space between you and the enemy, but also the team needs to kite for you, and team don't really kite for you in lower elos, so you are a very squishy, low mobility and low damage for some goddamn reason. Like Ashe is insanely low damage, like insanely low damage. Every single time I press tab and I see a Ashe with like 5 kills early game, she has like 2 items advantage on the enemy AD carry, and I swear to God, even the Aphelios I just flame one-shots her before like she even does something. I was like, who? Jinx? One shots Ashe. It's like she has like I don't know. It's like 1 item Jinx versus 2 items Ashe. I feel like Ashe loses. Samira doesn't really matter. It will win even with like a boot and 2 coins in her pocket and will one shot the Ashe. It's like Vayne will outplay the Ashe. Ashe is good because she can engage. Ashe is a CC bot. She has slows. She controls zone. She has a nice E who reveals vision across the map. So you throw your E, you see where the jungler is. Doesn't really fucking matter where the jungler is because like nobody pays attention anyway. So I know it doesn't really matter now. It doesn't really matter. So in your ultimate, if you actually hit it, and in low elo, I will question it a lot. It's like a big stun that it's very useful when it travels a lot of time. So if you throw your ultimate from one part of the map to the other part of the map and you actually hit somebody, they are stunned for like 3.5 seconds, which is insane. But that requires you to be actually good at hitting those across the map ults, and at the same time your team to collapse, because I don't know, I mean, like, Ashe support was more decent than Ashe AD carry. I don't care, Ashe is simply not a good AD carry for low elos. She's not fun to play, first of all. She's one of the most boring champs in the game to actually play, because like it's like you don't have nothing. You have nothing. You just like press your W on cooldown, you throw that volley of arrows, you slow them a little bit, and then you want to press auto attack a few times on them, so you have your mini machine gun that deals 0 damage. And then her build path it's boring as fuck as well. She just like builds attack speed for no reason, because she's dealing 0 damage at the end of the game. Like even like a 20 kills Ashe, I swear to God, she deals less damage than a 5 kill Samira. It's just like that. Aurelion Soul is just like, yeah, I will say he's like a mad champion as well. Like Aurelion Soul, if the game goes long enough, right? If the game goes like long enough, he can become an S tier champion, simply because this champion scales into oblivion. But like he has too many ways to fail, right? He has too many ways to fail. First of all, in early game, he is just like a bad champion. Then you need to know how to control your Q. Your Q just basically breeds fire on the enemy champion that puts some dots on top of them, and if the dots pop, right, you deal a lot of damage. You can fly a little bit around and the range increases, so he's a champion that permanently increases. You have like a small Anivia ult, right, just like a small ball that you throw on the ground and everybody just like gets attracted there, which is cool. But in the end game, it's like this huge ball that is really hard to play around. Your ultimate, it can be very like basic, or can be like a one-shot nuke from the skies. So he scales insanely well, but I feel like you actually only need to play Aurelion Soul. So he's either in the match champs, or it's like in like the over 100 hours to maybe 1000 hours to actually be played and actually understood. And actually, because for Aurelion Soul to be good, you need to roam around the map a lot. You need to actually know how to use your ults, how to stack your ults, how to put your like big ults around objectives. Like there is a lot of like macro and micro understanding that comes with these champs. So very hard champion to be played, exactly like Ashe. Like you need a team, you need something, but at least with Aurelion Soul you can actually solo carry the game, late games, even by like luck at some point. So if you like invest the hours into these champions, it's just like they will reward you, but at the same time it's like not the easiest champion to start with for a beginner. It will very hard to understand as a champion. Aurora, I would say Aurora. I don't know. She's. Yeah, I love Aurora. Okay, this is like personal bias. I really like Aurora, even though I didn't play her that much. Maybe I have like 50 games on her, but I really like Aurora. I still think like she needs 100 hours, simply because like her ultimate is like the biggest troll in the world. You can just like troll yourself very hard with your ultimate. So basically, Aurora has like a very nice combo, and it's like really easy to understand how to play Aurora in base. Like in base, you throw your Q, which is just like a straight line, right? And you can call the Q back. You hit a champion, you call that Q back, it deals a little bit of damage. You press your E, knocks you a little bit behind, and you also proc a bit passive. So if you throw E, QE, it's basically insta passive, right? And you just like deal a little nice damage. You can farm pretty easily on her, because like she kind of one shots wave after like the first item. And your W, it's simple. You can become invisible and hop into this invisibility as long as you're not CC'd, right? And whenever you kill somebody, you get that W back again. But your ultimate is this like huge AoE ring that you are putting around your champions. But if you hit the walls, you actually teleport to the other side of the wall, and that can troll you very hard. So she has like quite a lot of mechanics that she needs to learn. She can be played on top, she can be played on mid. She's mostly a mid laner, but I saw her quite a lot in top. I played her quite a lot on top. She's funny to choose the tanks with, but at the same time, I will not recommend her for beginners. I'm kind of mad I didn't create a lower tier for this champion, because like I swear to God, Azir is not. Azir should not be allowed. I mean, like he's like Aphelios, but for mid lane, like I don't care who you are, don't play Azir ever. It's not like I'm seeing this champion like a lot, right? It's not like I'm seeing this champion non-stop. At the same time, I don't really want to see this champion ever because, like, I swear to God, we never win because of Azir. I don't care how many games. If I have like 100 games in Diamond, like it's like, and we had like 100 games of Azir in Diamond, we never win because of Azir. Not even in Diamond. So Iron beginners and Bronze and Silvers should never pick Azir. Okay, never. Okay, there are like, again, 100 actual humans on the planet who should be allowed to play Azir. For the rest of them, should be just like permaban, because Azir is one of the most complex champions in the game by far. Too easy to even fuck up with him. Just like hugely fuck up. You can actually int your team if you ult the wrong person. It's like, I don't even want to start to begin to explain why this champion should never be allowed in lower elos. I don't know why the system is so hard, right? You are bronze, you are silver. It should simply not let you choose certain champions. And Azir for sure is one of them. Like, even in gold, even in plat, even in emerald. Keep your ego down. I don't even give a fuck if you have like a 52% win rate on Azir and you are platinum and you have like 2000 games on hit, right? If you invested that much time in any other champion that can be played on mid lane, I'm pretty sure you will have been master. If you have the mastery to actually play something like Azir, just pick anything else. This champion is just too hard to be played. Hey, look, it's Bard. No. Again, no. Nobody understands how to play Bard. Your team doesn't understand how to play Bard. The enemy team will be surprised of how many times you actually save them with your ult. Oh, by the way, I didn't explain what Azir ability does because, like, you really want me to? You spawn soldiers. You throw soldiers to enemy. You can go to enemy yourself where soldiers are. Your ult throws people around because you create like a big wall of soldier. And this champion, doesn't sound hard on paper. Nobody can play him because you need to perfectly play around your soldiers. Your mobility, it's insane. You have like so many combos. This champion is so convoluted, it's really not worth to explain. Now, Bard is pretty simple, right? He throws a Q. If you hit enemy champion, you slow. If you hit enemy champion and another enemy champion or a minion or a wall, you stun. Cool. He has a passive that Riot thought it would be good to be in the game where he needs to leave the bot lane and grab the little yellow stuff on the map. Now, most AD carries will want to insta-report Bard because like they don't know how to play 1v2 on bot. People in low elos will not roam efficiently anyway, and by low elos, and I swear to God, I mean any elo below master tier, like nobody should play Bard it's like your ultimate is like Anivia W, but 100 times worse, because I swear to God, if I see that a Bard ultimate used 100 times is like 85 times is gonna be more useful for the enemy team, because you throw like this big circle, this big yellow circle, who are actually you don't like stun anybody, you just like transform everybody in gold and make them invulnerable, and many times, most of the time, that will actually help the enemy team escape, or the enemy team to group, or I don't know, and you have a portal that again lets you just like go through walls. But at the same time, the enemy team can use it, so it's like a very decision-based champion that needs to run around the map and just like stun people and just like be cheesy. And like, I don't want somebody to explain to me that the champion role is to be cheesy, right? This champion is just like one of the worst designs in the game. I don't care. Bard is played only by people who cannot play anything else. It's like Bard should be insta. I don't know. I hate Bard. I hate Bard. This is a personal opinion. I really hate Bard. And this is why he's in, just don't. Yeah. Like, yeah. I think like, it's like here, but at the same time, there's like Akshan and Bel'veth. Bel'veth is a champion that it's can be very cool, but I think like, again, she's like she's a champion that like really needs a lot of time to be played into her. I will not be this bad with Bel'veth. I say if Bel'veth is like a jungler, right? You need to invest like over 100 hours into it. Like, you need to understand how to dash around, right? You need to understand how to dash around, how to actually just like position yourself. You need to understand that you are very reliable on like taking certain objectives on the map, right? The herald, the grabs, the baron, because your passive like works with them in like a very interesting way. Your Q, it's basically a lot of dashes, right? Your E, it's a knock up, if I'm not wrong. Your W, it's like makes you invulnerable, but it's a lot about decision making, a lot about how to position yourself. So I think like Bel'veth is like really not like the best champion to actually be played for lower reloads. Like again, like maybe if you invest like a few 100 hours into her, she can reward you. At the same time, I feel like there are simply better champions. Again, pick Amumu. Blitzcrank. Now I will say Blitzcrank can be like I I would say it's like S tier next to Alistar. Because like Blitzcrank, of course, first of all, he's feared in lower reloads. You will see a lot of like bans on Alistar, on Blitzcrank. He's a support. Now, as a support, it's like when you start learning to land the Q, right? The Q is basically you throw your arm like for quite a long distance and you pull anybody who's there. Now, he's not S tier simply because like you can pull the enemy tank and the enemy tank will engage on your team, and that can be a little bit troll. But once you start to learn how to throw those Qs, and I mean, it takes a little bit of practice, but at the same time, that's your only skill shot, so your margin of error is not that big. You throw the Q, you make a peek, it's just like your E, it's a point and click, you just like knock people up. Your ultimate, it's like this big AoE, you know, it's like damage, removes shield, is like a very good skill, easy to use, right? Your W just makes you faster. Just remember, whenever your W ends, it will also slow you down. But like very simple champion, like very simple to execute. As a support main, you should always pick Blitzcrank, right? It's just like he's very good into enchanters. So if you see in the enemy team like a Soraka, like a Sona, like a Jana, like a Yumi, it's like it's very good into enchanters, right? Into Milio, it's like I really like to pick these champions, right? It's like if you see you are Blitzcrank and you see the enemy team has like this squishy who just like don't have like a lot of mobility champions, like he's very very good to be picked. I will say like he's very very good to be picked. Okay, brand. Now, brand is a support and basically a jungler and can be played mid, but I never like see him being played mid. So it's like basically a jungle and a support. It's I will put him in B tier simply because brand is BS and you really basically need three items on him, and most of the games in like lower elors or in beginner really go there. And even though you're gonna miss maybe the Q, you maybe gonna miss the W. It's just like if you hit your E and R enough times, you're still gonna get kills. You're still gonna win games of his passive, because a brand works like this, right? Your Q, you just basically throw a ball of fire. That really doesn't do nothing on her own. But your W, it's this big circle of cone you just like spawn when in your range, right? It's like you put them on a blaze, right? Your E basically takes every single target you actually have your passive on, your blaze, from your W, for example, or from your Q or from your R, because every single skill you are using procs this blaze, this fire, right, on the target. It just spreads the blaze more. Now, whenever you hit, like, for example, W, E, Q, you will have also your passive, which is like a big circle of like damage that will have like a timer before it explodes and deals damage over time, because every skill you do deals damage over time. Your R is basically a point and click that jumps around the enemy champion. So if like 5 people are stacked and you throw your R and maybe you press E and you luckily hit a W, you're gonna take like, I don't know, 50% the HP from like every single champion that it's in front of you. So he's like, it's like he can be failed very easily. But at the same time, even if you're like, I don't know, 1 and 10 and you hit a good combo in the late game, you might win the game. It's just like he's like easy to fail on. At the same time, it's like very rewarding for like a very little effort. It's right if you actually start to learn how to hit the Q, because the Q, if you hit somebody from, like, for example, with the W and then the Q, you stun them. as well, and then your E and your R are very easy to hit. So when you have a little bit of mastery on Brian, he becomes a menace, right? He becomes a menace. So I'm gonna say like Brian, like a very decent champion to actually start and play. Even if you are missing a lot of shit on him, I still gonna be useful. Braum is gonna be my first A tier. Now I swear to God, when I'm watching like lower tier players playing Braum, sorry, Brand was still in my mind, right? Braum is another support. Uh, People like miss the shield a lot. You have like your Q, basically you throw just like this ice ball into the enemy. It applies a stack of your passive. Now, whenever you or your allies hit that passive champion, they're gonna get stunned. So Braum is very good into melees. Like if the enemy team have a lot of melees, he's like very good into them now, but he suffers a lot versus range champions. So he's like kind of you need to know when to draft Braum, and you can fail Braum quite a lot. But at the same time, if you like put a little bit of time into it, like I will say Braum, I love Braum, but I will really say like you need to put at least 50 hours into this champion because like he does require a little bit of finesse to actually be played. Like you can mess the shield, you can just like your E is basically you jump in front of your right, you spawn this shield with your W, you can jump to a champion or to a allied champion or to a minion, to one of your minions, and you can basically put the shield up and you can tank a lot of damage because you will even absorb certain skills, so you will tank a lot of damage. But with that being said, you need to know how to position yourself. Your ultimate is pretty simple. You just like create like this big cascade of ice in front of you that knocks up the enemies. But again, like knowing when to pick Braum is gonna reward you very hard because, like for example, if the enemy team picks like a lot of melees, Braum is gonna be like I tell you, is gonna go from here to here. Even without playing him very well, you kind of just need to auto people, just like press auto attack on them. You're still pretty tanky, just like stay in front of the enemy, just like click them a lot, and your team will have like a lot easier time to actually fight that team. Now Briar is like in the fuck them category. It's like fuck them. No, it's like she's like a bad design of a champion for beginners at least. I still don't see her like in pro plays because there is a certain champion who's just like Briar but much better, right? I don't think we're gonna get to him in this video, but like it's like why this champion even exists? I don't know, right? She's just like a cheesy champion, but for lower elos and for beginners, she's like very bad because she has a skill that you actually need to actively think about, because you can just like dive turrets without wanting, because you have a skill that makes you chase enemy champions. Like she's a very easy champion on paper. She's a melee champion, she's a jungler. Your ultimate allows you to jump. She has like a very long range where you throw your ultimate. If you hit an enemy champion, you just like go straight to them, you fear everybody around you, right? And you will gonna start basing them. But you have a skill that makes you chase people. Now if you don't keep other skills to deactivate that skill, you will just run into an enemy tower and you cannot stop. Even if you flash, you cannot stop that skill and you will just die. And I see that, like, I don't know, it's like I think I saw like 1000 deaths montages from that skill alone. And like again, to start to play the game and actually pick Briar, you're just gonna suffer and you are not gonna understand why your champion doesn't do what you want to do. You will click on the map and nothing will happen. So she's like very non-interactive. She's like very weird. Caitlynn, now she's gonna be our first S tier AD carry. I will say like maybe A tier. I will say there is like a one champion from AD carries who I'll put in S tier, but like Caitlynn, she has like a very long range, right, on her basic attacks. She has like very nice skills you can understand pretty easily, right? Your Q, you just like throw something that deals a little bit of damage and kills minions. Nice range, cool. Your W, you put these little traps, people come into them, they get stunned for a little seconds there actually, and you can have like your passive, which is a headshot, like a nice line will appear just to shoot them. Cool. Your E, you basically, it's a little bit of a dash, right? You just like go backwards, you throw your E, this is a net, you hit enemy champion, for example. Again, you're gonna deal extra damage. Again, you're gonna have this like line to the enemy champion that you will see, and you can shoot them. Your ultimate, it's a point and click. Somebody's low, you want to poke somebody, you just like you want to hit somebody because you don't like their faces, you just like press R, press on them, and you will hit them. Of course, it can be stopped by another champion, but at the same time, a lot of kills can be taken with that ultimate in a pretty easy fashion, and the range is quite big as well. So she's a really good champion, right? She's a good beginner champion. She rewards you a lot. She deals a lot of damage late game. She has like a nice range. You can learn and start learning how to position yourself as an AD carry on Caitlynn, right? You can create spaces with the traps. She's like a very well designed and interactive champion. Like every single skill you are using, right? You see something, you get something out of it, and she's a very good champion. So I'll say Caitlynn, she's like a nice champion for beginners, right? Every single time you are hitting for 6 times your 7th attack, it's dealing extra damage. So she's very interactive in like a simple manner, and I will recommend Caitlynn for every single beginner when they are starting to play the game and they enjoy actually AD carry. Camille is like legit easily over like 100 hours. Like she's a top laner, she's melee, she uses mana, but like at the same time it's just like uh she has too many things to fail. She's hard. She's like next level hard. Maybe like she's like with Bel'veth and Aatrox together. Like they are very hard champion. Because even here, like Aurora can be higher, right? Like Aurora, it's like range. She's much faster, rewarding than an Akali, for example, or for an it's like just like I think like even here like there is a certain thing you can need to think about. Like Bel'veth, it's like extremely hard to learn. Camille, again, like Camille doesn't feel hard. At the same time, she needs a lot of time to scale. She has like a very hard early game. She has like quite a lot of bad matchups that will feel not fun to play on, right? So you need to think about it. You need to think how to actually play Camille when you are playing her, because your Q is basically you press Q, you hit something, you have to wait a little bit to press Q again. A lot of people will not do that, trust me. In the beginner level, Rose like or Hardstuck people in like these low elos, they will not have the patience to wait for that Q. So your Q is very important, because if you press Q too fast, you're just gonna double tap somebody, you're just gonna hit them twice a little bit faster, but that not gonna do a lot of damage. Your Q needs to become white, right? And then you actually do the volley that will deal true damage. That's actually how you deal damage on Camille. Now your W is this like swipe that you need to hit at the margin, right? Like with Aatrox Q, you kind of need to hit a certain point of Camille W to actually take something out of it. Your E, it's basically this like hook shot. It's still much better than Akshan, but at the same time, you still need to know how to position yourself, and you need to be crisp and fast with it, right? You throw yourself into a wall, and then you can redirect yourself into an enemy champion. You can escape with it, or you can stun the enemy, you can engage with it, okay? It's like a nice skill, but needs a lot of proficiency to actually use efficiently. Your R basically sets you in a 1v1 with an enemy champion. You block them there. They cannot dash, they cannot flash. So she's like a very nice engaged champion. She scales very hard into the late game, but at the same time, you might lose games way before you actually scale into Camille. And when you start falling back with Camille, it feels like she's like so sad to be played. And her passive is pretty easy, right? If you are fighting an AP champion and you have your passive app, you will get a blue shield that protects you against magic damage. And if you are fighting an AD champion, you will get a AD shield, right? So she's nice to trade on, but like again, very hard champion. You need a lot of hours to be put in it. Uh, 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 she's meh. It's just a meh champion. Cassiopeia, she's a mid lane champion. It's like, you know, I don't even know how to explain Cassiopeia really. I don't think like she is like highly mechanical, right? You know, you need to know how to position yourself. You need to know when to throw your ultimate. You need to learn how to use miasma efficiently. And I see like Cassiopeia being like a very good champion in like higher elos, but like in lower elos, she cannot be executed. because you need to press your Q, actually hit the Q, then you need to spam the E, but at the same time position well. You need to use miasma, your W on the ground. With this is like this venom you are throwing on the ground, this poison on the ground that will not allow enemy champions to dash out of it because it grounds them. It's this like a very unique ability Cassiopeia has, and I'm pretty sure only one other champion has it, right? So you need to play it very well. Your ultimate is not like this very easy to understand ultimate. You throw your ultimate, people need to be with the face towards you to actually stun them. Then you need to be really crisp on how fast you are moving. So I think she needs just a lot of clicking and a lot of like actually being like very instant in your decision making, and that's why she's not like a champion for beginners or noobs. How can we not put Cho'Gaat in the S tier list? S plus tier list. This champion is like so rewarding. Is you should really like learn Cho'Gaat. This is like nothing easier than that. Now he's a top laner. He can be played. He can be for sure be played mid if you like really want to. You can go full AD, full AP. You can go full tank. Like he's such a nice champion to be played, bro. Yeah, you know it's like you are melee, but at the same time you can for sure play him as range because your Q has like a very low cooldown. You just like create this circle of spikes that just instantly kill minions. You perma scale into the game as long as you eat stuff with your ultimate. You can secure objectives. You become this Goliath of a champion in like a very short time, right? You can be like 10k HP, huge champion that covers half the enemy screen. It's like you deal insane amount of damage, you tank a lot, you have silence, knock up, slows, true damage on our ultimate. Like he's like such a great champion. We're gonna explain him very fast. So right, your Q, big circle of just like damage and knockups. Your W basically tells the enemy champions to shut the fuck up because you are the actually OG of the game, right? It's just like this silence. You just like silence them. Your E, your basics become range in a way. You throw these three attacks become spikes, right? You're just like gonna slow the enemy champions. You're gonna AoE and you actually gonna hit like every minion. So it's like very easy to farm with Cho'Gaat. Your R, it's a point and click bite that will deal true damage every single time you eat something. So if you kill an enemy champion or you kill a minion or you kill a dragon, it's very important to kill dragons. It's very important to kill heralds, right? The grabs, like every like big epic objective monster like baron, dragons, right? Everything that it's important on the map. And enemy champions, every single time you're gonna eat something, you're gonna become bigger and bigger and bigger, and you're gonna have more HP and more HP, and you can scale to like stupid amounts of like HP and like size. So like I said, you're gonna be huge. Like a CC bot that stuns deals true damage. You can basically like one shot certain champions at the end of the game with pressing R alone. So she is just like one of the best champions in the game to learn. She is like not that hard to understand as a champion, and it will reward you insanely well. Corki is like I will say mad champions for beginners because Corki doesn't offer you the I don't know, it's like he's like not so fun to play. I don't know how to explain Corki because I played Corki quite a lot. I have like a decent win rate on Corki. He did went through a lot of changes, but like how to explain Corki, right? He's an AD carry who can be played mid and bottom at this point. He's not like a bad champion. He needs like a lot of hours to be invested into it because you need to know how to rotate and you need to know about how to do anything. His range, he uses mana, it's okay, but like your Q, I don't know, it seems like you will not do a lot of damage. Your Q, you just like throw this Q, it just like deals a little bit of damage. Yeah, okay. Your W is just like a little bit of dash. Okay, you know, it's like your E is just like this machine gun which is like throws. So I don't know. No, your ultimate, you just like throw some rockets. No skill that Corki has seems that will deal damage. He's like such a very like combo based and just like boom boom and in and out and just like It's like very hard to understand Corki because Corki will deal a lot of true damage from his passive. And that's nice, but at the same time, you actually need how to play Corki very well. So it's like for sure here or here, but his fun factor will seem so low compared to so many other champions. And I know this from like a lot of communication with friends who tried him, and he feels like very low fun, right? He's like even his like looks don't like they don't attract people. So that's why I'm saying like Corki is a match champion, can be very good, like for sure. If you master Corki, he can be like maybe S tier, but like at the same time, and this thing can be said by maybe probably about any champion, right? Because like I'm saying, I'm just like trying to help you as a beginner to actually enjoy the game. So for sure Aphelios can be S tier, right? At the same time, as a beginner, no. Darius, we need to right? He's a top laner. Darius, it's a S tier champion. Like learning how to play Darius, you gonna be hated. You are gonna be hated by so many people because nobody loves to play against this guy because he's a bully that needs to stay strong. Like Riot Games August actually said that Darius needs to stay strong. That's his role. His role is to be strong. And in lower elos, it's like Darius, it's like a decently easy champion to be played, and is like very, very, very rewarding to be played correctly. Your Q, you just need to hit it at like the max range, right? If the enemy champion is like right here in your face, your Q is not gonna do a lot. But if it's like at the margin of the Q, because your Q, you just like spin around with your X, you need to hit them with the tip. You need to hit them with the tip. You hit with them with the tip, you heal yourself. If you hit many targets, you heal more, right? Easy. Your W slows them and reduces armor. Or is that the E actually? I don't know. The W is basically your basic attack. You just like need to hit them. And your E is just like you throw your X like in a decent range and you pull them towards you. So your combo is like this. You press a basic attack, they try to run, you press E, you W them once, you Q them, and maybe if you hit another auto attack because they are slow from your W, you gonna stack something on them that is insanely strong. Your passive, you just like make them bleed for like a ton of damage. And your ultimate, it's this point and click. You jump in the air with your X and you just like execute them. Now every single time somebody has this passive on them, this bleed on them, you will see it because it's like very visual. Your ultimate will deal insane amounts of damage. So you are very good at killing tanks, first of all. You are extremely good at killing squishies. And yeah, you just when you're gonna kill somebody, when you have your passive stack, and actually another champion is comes and wants to fight you, you don't need to restack him as well with 5 autos or 5 skills. No, you already have that passive stack. So all of a sudden, everybody needs to run away from you because you stack and you put your passive everywhere. Everybody bleeds. You have your ultimate to execute squishies. So you're gonna become a menace. You're gonna be like 200 HP. It's almost over. 5 champions coming to you. All of a sudden, you are pentakilling them. You are killing everybody. So learning Darius is like very rewarding, and I will say like he needs to be here. Like he's a very good champion to learn, and people will hate me. Diane, Diane, Diana. It's like she's melee. That's my problem. She is melee. Darius is melee as well, but I will say I don't care. She's an ace tier. I think like Diana should be learned. Diana, it's a mid laner. Diana, it's a jungle. Diana, it's like a very good champion, and like she's easy to learn, like easy enough to understand, right? Now, all you need to know about Diana, your E and Q are very important, and you need to learn how they work together. But once you learn that, I feel like Diana can become like a menace, like a true menace, right? Because your E is just like a dash that deals damage towards the enemy champion. You can dash towards enemy champion. Cool. But your E, if you just like dash towards the enemy champion, it'll feel very dry. Well, your Q, although it looks weird, it's just like this cone of damage. You just like throw this semi-moon towards your enemy. If you hit the enemy, you can go on the enemy with E. and you don't lose the cooldown from the E. Every single time you hit a Q, you press E on the enemy that you hit with the Q, and you don't lose the dash. Right? That's it. You press Q, you press E. That's it. Because the W is just like, you have like these three balls like around you that will shield you and damage the enemy champion. And your R is this like big AoE knock-up damage, insanely nice to use. So the combo is just like this. Q. Oh, we hit Q. We press E. Instantly W, R. And we mostly kill somebody if it's squishy. Or we kill many people. So learning Diana, I don't think like she needs hundreds of hours like other champions. Decision making is important, but I swear to God, if you just like play Diana, like she's just Akali, but much better. It's just it. For lower elos, she's like a assassin champion. At the same time, she can be built like a fighter in the jungle because she has like many variants of the build. And it's point and click. It's a point and click engaged. Even if you miss the Q, right, you can still go in with the EWR in like 5 people, knock them up, deal a lot of damage. Like, she's a very good champion to be learned in lower elos. Draven!
This fucking toddler raging ass bitch. Oh my god, I'm so fucking good! Huh?
What? Of course, he's like never pick. This champion is made for Smurfs and people who are actually insanely good at the game. Of course, there are like decent Draven players even in like Diamond Elo, in like Emerald, who can run away with the games, but they are still not consistent. But like in terms of like lower Elos, Draven is not played like a normal champion, right? First of all, Draven is very good at like winning games very fast because every single time he kills a minion, he gets a stack of adoration. Now, if you have like a lot of stacks and you don't die, because every single time you die, you lose 50% of them, you will have like these huge cash outs of gold every single time you kill an enemy champion. Now, that sounds nice, but the champion is not easy to be played. You need to position yourself perfectly. Also, you need to catch your axes, which is a mechanic that only he has. So you kind of only need to play Draven, or you don't play Draven. If you really like Draven, like sure, spend like 1000 hours into it. I'm pretty sure he's gonna reward you a lot. But if not, just never pick Draven. It's just like that. I'm sorry. You know, the champion doesn't seem complicated on the paper, but just like his Q alone, it's a skill that it's so hard to be played around because you need to throw your axes, right, and actually just like catch them, and that's a skill on itself, right? Your W is just like movement speed, your E is just like something you can disengage or just like cancel engage from enemy team into you, right? You just like throw your axes in a way that sends them to right, it just like pushes them in a direction, right? But your ultimate, it's pretty simple. It's like a global. You throw your axes, you hit somebody, you deal damage. If they are very low, they die. It's just like that. But again, I will not recommend Draven. And the last champion for today, it's Mundo. He's like a 8-tier pick. He's like very, very, very good into APs. He's like a good champion to learn. He's like pretty easy. His only problem is that he loses HP. He doesn't have like energy or mana like other champions do, but he loses HP. He trades HP to use skills. So if you don't know how to play Mundo and you are throwing your skills randomly, and by your skills I mean your Q, because that's your only skill shot, you basically throw this axe at them, and if you hit them, you don't lose HP. If you don't hit anything, you will lose HP. Mundo is like a hard scaler. You need to understand, Mundo is not like to be played to win early game, but he can solo carry games late game. So you just need to be patient with Mundo. I will say he needs a little bit of hours into it, but at the same time, I think like he's a 8 tier pick. Like he's a tanky boy. He can tank for a lot of time. Your ultimate regenerates a lot. Your W just makes you a little bit more tankier. Your E, if you hit something that is really squishy, that is really low, will just like push them and execute them. And your Q is just like I said, like your only thing you need to think about. You throw that, you slow them, you deal damage from percentage HP, and it's like a really nice tool to poke and farm in lane. Just you need to start hitting those Qs. When you start hitting those Qs and you understand that your job is to scale a little bit into the late game, you're gonna be like a insane 1v9 machine that is basically pretty easy to be played because you are hard to be stopped, because you have a skill that removes CC. And once you like actually start to understand the way Mundo should be played, you're gonna be a menace. And with that being said, this is it for today. We're gonna continue on the next video.